Welcome, people of the World Wide Web. So this is Chris from Cypher Sigma Screen Time, and this is another pickup. So yes, as the thumbnail would show, this is another pickup. This is a pickup from Vinted, and it's a pickup of a movie I wasn't the biggest fan of. So why have I bought the steelbook for it? As far as I'm aware, it's a German steelbook. I was given a deal from, I think it was £11. And at first off, regardless of if I like movies or don't like, I always have a rule, or most stuff, I will always give a movie a second try. If I feel it kind of deserves it, and there's a lot of factors that could come in. I try and stick with my 6 months to a year. So whenever I've watched a movie at the cinema, I will then rewatch that movie a year to 6 months down the line. The reason for this is essentially to give enough time to nostalgia to all the stuff. When a movie comes out, there's a lot of praise, there's a lot of can be negativity, and that can influence your opinion of it. If I really like a movie, I always feel that there is something called longevity. So you can go to the cinema and watch it. In one instance, it will be with your friends, and you can really enjoy it. You can watch that movie 6 months later on your own, be in a different environment, and actually go, I don't really like it. It's maybe the added effect of people being around you, or maybe those people and their views having an impact on you. And I think that's for movies. And for me, I always like to watch it at the cinema and then watch it, as I say, 6, 9, 12 months later to see if I still think the same. If I still think the same, then that shows that it's more or less a good movie in my eyes, and that obviously it has that longevity. A lot of movies I will really love at the cinema, and I'll watch it a year later and think, yeah, it was all right. What wasn't as good now the novelty's worn off. And when it comes to novelty, obviously, that can be a big factor. So what have I bought? So yes, it is the German edition of Deadpool Wolverine. So these are two comic book characters. Obviously, I'm a big comic book fan, a big Marvel fan. This is completing my collection. I'm not the biggest collector of this. I wasn't fussed about this when it came out. Even at the cinema, to me, it felt like a lackluster version of kind of the last Spider-Man movie and the last Doctor Strange movie. I really loved the Spider-Man movie. I thought it was great. It paid homage to a lot of things. We got a lot of completed stories and a lot of lines that were overdue. Plus, I'm a big Andrew Garfield fan, so I liked the fact that he was in it. Now, with Doctor Strange, I wasn't a big fan of that movie. It was the second one. I really enjoyed Benedict Cumberbatch. I really like him as Doctor Strange. I just felt there was just so many poor plot holes and poor stories and stuff like that. And even though I liked a lot of the characters, the fact that, Charles Xavier was finished quite easy. He had like some of the most smartest people and, fan casted Mr. Fantastic, one of the smartest people on the planet. And the first thing he says is like, oh, this guy's got screen powers and he can kill you. Like, what an idiot, wouldn't really happen. And it kind of felt like it was taking, they had seen what Sony had done with Spider-Man and were just like, well, if we have all these characters in there, and that, Captain Britain and stuff, it was great, but you didn't really get to see too much of them. It was just kind of giving the fans what they feel they wanted. But like Spider-Man, I felt like it more hit home because there was everybody was there for a deliberate one. I felt this was very much the same like this movie. You had so many people there, so many people recast. Like Tyler Mane, he's there and then he's basically killed off within a minute. Pyro, he gets a few scenes and then he is dispatched quite quickly. The J card is stuck down, so I'm just trying to remove it without doing it. So there is 2 blobs there. And I know this has been out and everybody's got this there. So personally, I preferred the Deadpool version over the Wolverine one, just because I feel it's Deadpool's movie, so he kind of should take place. Yeah, so that is the front, that is the side. That's the back, as I say. Probably every man and their dog's got this. That's the fact. It cost me like £12 to get this. Obviously, I have the 2 discs. Obviously, it's German, but you can play it in English. So I will revisit this. And then goes to show, just an ensemble of several of the characters on the inside in the different versions. For me, like even with the comics, Wolverine and Deadpool have been done to death, and to be, I'm quite sick of the characters. I was quite sick of them in the first place. I wasn't the biggest fan, which is why I didn't gravitate to wanting to pick this movie up after the movie, because I just felt it was literally like, let's put a loose story together. Let's throw as many kind of cameos and stuff into it as possible. You know, yes, Channing Tatum I did really like. I know brought back Wesley Snipes. Was he as good as the Blade we know? I don't think so, personally. Um, you know, but as I say, it was just kind of meeting the fans' expectations, because that's what they wanted. That's why you just put, you know, the story wasn't that great. We got to see loads of like different ones. I don't really find the humour that great either, but this would complete the Deadpool collection for me. As I say, probably buying the Blu-ray or something, it probably isn't too far. If you say £12 for a steelbook is never bad. Better than what it was first price. So I will watch it. I will watch the movie soon, and I will kind of have that on my weekly watches. But yeah, what are your thoughts and feelings on this? Did you like this movie at the cinema? Have you rewatched it since the cinema recently, and what were your thoughts then? Let me know in the comments down below. I've been Chris from Screen Time, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.